What's good, YouTube? It's your boy JD here with my first NBA 2K25 build video of the year. And man, I've been doing a lot of the face creations and stuff for you guys, but I wanted to bring out my 6'9" Larry Bird build. I hope this build helps you guys out. I've been having a lot of fun with it. I don't do anything too crazy on my first builds of the year, so I thought this would be a nice build to start out with as we get used to the builder and everything like that. So if this build video helps you guys out, or any of my other videos have helped you out, don't forget to drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're new. Let's head over to the builder. I'm going to show you not one, but two different versions of this Larry Bird build. Let's go. Alright, so here we are over in the builder. I'm going to show you my version of this Larry Bird build. And then I'm also going to show you the second version that I talked about and why I decided to ultimately go with this one. So I went Larry Bird. And I went right-handed, jersey number 33. I put the Larry Bird name and the jersey number 33 on there. If you go to the Cleveland Cavaliers, sure, there's some other teams on there, but if you wanted to have the number 33 like in the rec, or if you want to go into the NBA store and get a custom Celtics jersey with the name Bird and 33 on it, you can go to the Cleveland Cavaliers and do that. So that's why I decided to do that right there. For the position on this one, we're going to go small forward. Like I said, on my particular build that I ended up ultimately making, I went 6'9", and I'll explain why I did that here as we get into the build itself. For the weight on this one, I went 196. And then for the wingspan, I went 6'11" on the wingspan. So those are going to be the physicals to start out this Larry Bird build. Just like we did in NBA 2K24 videos, I'm going to start out here down with the physicals just because they're tied into some of the different badges, attributes and everything like that when you combine them. So we're gonna start down here. I went with an 84 on the speed. I wanted to go with that one tick higher, but I didn't have enough attributes left over. If you want to tweak this, by all means, and get that extra attribute point on there and put the 85 speed, definitely go ahead. For agility, on this first build, I went with an 80 on the agility. Again, agility is one of those new things here in NBA 2K25. We don't know a ton about it yet. So when I made this original build, the day after the game came out, I decided to go 80. I felt like that was kind of a nice safe space on this. It gets you slippery off ball, which I obviously wanted to have on this Larry Bird build for doing the dexting and, getting open and using that to do that. So that's why I went 80. For the strength, again, day one of the game, we didn't exactly know how this was going to work out. I went 73 on the strength. If I was going to remake this now, a week in, knowing what I know and seeing some of the gameplay, I probably would tweak the strength and move it up to, maybe an 82 or an 85 even on the strength. But so far, so good. Like I said, it works just fine on this build, and this is what I did on my day one build. So I wanted to show you guys, my day one build, right, wrong, and different. And then for the vertical, I went with an 80. I think 80's always been a nice little sweet spot on the verticals the last few 2Ks. So again, making my build not knowing a ton about the gameplay and everything day one, I decided to go 80 on the vertical. So those are the physicals there. Let's start up here on the finishing side of things. Larry Bird not known for doing crazy athletic things in the finishing department, with the dunking and things like that. I did tweak a couple of things just to make it kind of my own, my own liking and everything. I went with an 82 on the close shot. And then I went with a 70 on the driving layup. When you combine the two, you can see we get float game on silver, and we get the paint prodigy badge on bronze. We also get physical finisher on bronze as well. So that's just going to help you finish, in contact and stuff like that around the rim. And then if you wanted to use like your max +1 on the float game and put gold float game on here, even though you only have a 70 driving layup, you could definitely do that as well. If you want to put it in another spot, by all means, that's completely up to you. For the driving dunk, if I was probably going to leave it right here at 60 if I was going to make like a true Larry Bird build, but it's 2K, and as much as I want to stay true to it, I also want to make a build that's going to be effective and fit my playstyle. So this is one where I did tweak the attributes a little bit, maybe slightly outside of what a regular Larry Bird build would be. I went 80 on my driving dunk, and then 45 on the standing dunk. That gets you posterizer on bronze and aerial wizard on gold. It also gets you access to some very nice dunk packages. Even though you don't have contact dunks, you get the athletics off one, some of the rim hangs. It also gets you access to the Devin Booker dunk package, which if you guys remember from NBA 2K24, that was a season reward or a season animation that came out maybe midway through the game or so. But ended up being one of the best contact dunk packages in the game. There's a lot of real quick, nice dunks off there, both one-hand and two-hand type dunks. So that's why I decided to go 80 driving dunk. Again, 45 standing dunk, like I mentioned. That's going to get you the normal under basket animations. You know, being 6'9", whether you're cutting or getting rebounds and things like that, you know, you're going to want to be able to finish underneath the hoop. So having those basic animations definitely going to help you out doing that. And then the post control here, I only went up to a 70. You know, if I was going to make, like I said, a true Larry Bird type of a build, I'd probably back that driving dunk down and I would increase the post control here. You can see we get post poet on bronze along with the post powerhouse. You get hook specialist on silver, and then when we increase this mid-range, the post fade phenom is going to go up a little bit and stuff too. So again, nothing too crazy here on the finishing side. You know, I put the 80 dunk on there, like I said, just to be able to help finish around the rim, me personally, on this build. So that's what we went ahead and did. I got a couple of finishing highlights for you here, and then we'll move on to the shooting.
So not getting anything too crazy out of me here. You're going to see a couple of the dunk packages in that Devin Booker dunk package. You see we get the little lane steal here. Run down with a nice little athletic two-handed flush, and then just another one real quick here. But I promise you that Devin Booker dunk package is real nice.
Alright, moving down to the shooting, that's going to kind of be the bread and butter of this build. We decided to take this all the way up to a 92 on our mid-range. We went 83 on our 3-ball. And then I had a couple extra attributes left over, so I went 71 on the free throw. But by going 92 mid-range and 83 on the three-pointer, you can see we get Deadeye, Set Shot Specialist, and Shifty Shooter all on gold. And they're all tier 1, so if you wanted to use your max +1 on any of these, you could get them on Hall of Fame, which obviously would be very nice. And then having the 83 three-point shot also gets you the Bronze Limitless Range badge as well. In addition to that, having that 92 mid-range opens up a plethora of different jump shots that you could use. You know, if you guys want to see the jump shots that I've been using, let me know in the comments down below. I'll do that in a separate video. But again, 92 mid-range, 83 three-pointer. I think that fits more of a Larry Bird style build if that's what we're going to go for pretty well. We're going to check out some shooting highlights real quick, and then we'll get down and I will show you the playmaking.
So like I said, the bread and butter on this build is really going to be the shooting. Having that 92 mid-range, you're going to have an 83 3-ball. So you're going to be able to do the fades, do all that fun stuff in the mid-range, as well as be able to spot up and knock down from deep. Again, having the 83 3-ball is going to give you access to the set shot spot up shooter, whatever that badge was, on gold. You can have limitless range on bronze. You can have access to a lot of very nice jump shots as well. And this build is just going to be all around, you know, a knockdown shooter, a lot of fun to play on, and that's why I went with the 92 mid-range and the 83 3-ball.
Alright, so moving down to the playmaking, Larry Bird, again, pretty solid all-around type of a player, so I went 75 on the pass accuracy for this one. That's going to get you access to a couple of the nice animations, pass styles, I should say. One they did add in this year is a tier at 70. Last year you either had no pass style, I think the fundamental, or you had to go up to a 75 to get the Sabonis and the John Morant one. Now at 70 they have one that's actually not too bad. I've tried it out a little bit. It's the Paolo Banchero animation or pass style. So if you wanted to go 70 on this and give up a few attributes, if you want to tweak your build a little bit, you could definitely do that and still get a very nice pass style on here. With the 75 pass accuracy, you see on the right hand side, you get Break Starter and Dimer both on silver, both pretty solid. For the ball handle, I also went 75 on the ball handle. As you can see, that gets you handles for days, Unpluckable, and then Ankle Assassin all on bronze, along with Strong Handle on gold. Again, this one not made to be, a dribble head or anything like that. Just enough playmaking in here and enough ball handle to be able to get open. You get some of the Kevin Durant animations along with some other pretty solid animations for having a 75 ball handle. And then lastly, I went with a 70 speed with ball on here. Again, for the reason I just mentioned, this build's going to be more of your 3-and-D spot-up type of a build, but having a 70 with that 80 driving dunk, it's a 75 ball handle, all combined, make for some pretty decent playmaking. Again, I mentioned this in my past videos, I'm not a dribble head, I don't do anything too crazy, but I got a few playmaking clips here for you, and then we'll get down and we'll finish this thing out with the defense.
So much like the finishing, I don't have anything too crazy here, just a couple of quick clips for you, nothing dribbling or anything like that. I haven't done anything too crazy, but I promise it's coming.
Alright, lastly, moving down to the defense on here, and part of the reason, like I mentioned, why I went 6'9" on this build, I'm going to go 64 on the interior defense. We're going to go 85 on the perimeter defense. That's going to get us some badges like Challenger, On-Ball Menace, and Pick Dodger on silver. You see the gold Off-Ball Pest, and then the bronze Immovable Enforcer here. Again, this is the reason why I decided to go 6'9". I'm going to actually show you guys the other build here in just a second, but the reason I went with the 6'9" is because of the tier 2 badges. You can see you have all of the defensive badges as tier 2s. The other one, even though maybe a slightly better build, did not have these as tier 2s. So let's finish out these stats. I'll show you the other build, and then we'll come back and finish things off. But continuing on, we got the steel here at a 79, which gets us the silver glove and the silver interceptor. And even having these silver badges, as you're going to see in some of these clips, I know the lane steals are maybe a little OD right now, but we're hawking a lot of lanes and getting a lot of steals on this. So having the 79 steal doesn't seem to be too bad at all for this build. Down to the block, we're going to go with a 78 block. That's going to get us the high flying denier on silver, and then you see the paint patroller on bronze as well. The high flying denier is going to be like your chase down artist type of a badge, so just having the additional block is also going to help out with shot contests and things like that. That's been kind of proven by, you know, very variety of sources, NBA 2K Labs amongst others, and just from people in general. So having your block, you know, up a higher, I think 78 is going to be a nice little sweet spot here in NBA 2K25. You can take that high flying denier if you wanted to add, you know, put it up to gold. That'd be completely up to you. And then for the offensive rebound, I'm going to put mine at a 55, just to have a little bit of offensive rebounding on this build. And then I went ahead and maxed out the defensive rebound up to an 80. You can see that gets you silver box out beast, silver rebound chaser, and bronze pogo stick. So all in all, pretty solid. As you can see, nice well-rounded build. I want to show you the other build real quick at 6'8" that I was talking about prior, and why I didn't end up using that build and ended up ultimately going 6'9". So let's jump over there. I'll show you that real quick, and then we'll finish this one off.
Like I mentioned in the stats here, we should set up the defense to be pretty solid on this. You can see we get a nice little contest there. We get the tip and then the steal off of the play here. I'm getting a lot of lane steals, even having this 79 you know, steal rating. You see right there, we hawk another lane. You know, we're getting in the block shots here with that 78 block shot. It's going to get you the silver chase down artist or high flying denier, and then again with the 80 rebound and then the 80 vertical, you're going to be able to snag a lot of boards and then push the ball up the floor, you know, using your playmaking and everything like that. But I've been pleasantly surprised with the rebounding on this build. It's been very solid. The defense all around very solid as well, and I think you're going to like it too.
So here's the second version of this build. This was the original version that I actually started making before I realized the differences in it, and you can see it's got very similar stats. On this one, I took the driving layup and I moved it up to an 80, and I took driving dunk down to a 75. Otherwise, pretty much, you know, the similar looking stats, like I said, across the board. Pass accuracy is a 70, and the reason for that is because I was able to get the steal up going 6'8" up to an 85 to give you the gold interceptor. And then, like I said, the rest of the stats basically the same, but the reason that I went 6'9" is right here on the defensive side of things. You can see the tier 2 badges. You only get Immovable Enforcer and the Off-Ball Pest as tier 2 badges, so I started thinking ahead as getting those like max +1 badges, and there wasn't really anything here on the 6'8" version in the tier 2s that was really catching my eye. I mean, if you go over to the shooting badges, you know, you get Mini Marksman, which I'm not even eligible for. The finishing, you know, looking at some of these stats here, you get Aerial Wizard, Float Game, you know, Layup Mixmaster, not terrible. But I was looking for something more on the defensive side where I could use my max +1 on that for the tier 2s. So that's why I didn't go with this version. So I'm going to jump back to the 6'9" version again. I'm going to run through the badges and I'll show you real quick why I went with the build that I ultimately ended up using. Alright, so there was the other version of the build, and that's why I ultimately ended up going 6'9". I was thinking kind of ahead with that max +1 and where I was going to put my tier 1 and 2 badges, and just having more options on the defensive side here with these tier 2s. I'll probably end up using it on either Challenger or On-Ball Menace, you know, but again, just to have some additional options for my first build, that's why I decided to do this. So let's go ahead and finish this bad boy off here. You can see the shades of Shane Battier, some dude from the Washington Wizards that I can't pronounce his name, and then Chris Middleton, which I think is a pretty solid modern day comparison to like a Larry Bird type of a build. Both, you know, pretty good two-way players. Larry was a very good two-way player when he was in his prime before all the injuries and everything. And then they can score at all three levels. You know, Larry could finish around the hoop a little bit with the layups and being a little crafty. Definitely dominating in the mid-range game like Middleton, and then could shoot the three ball a little bit as well. So yeah, so that's going to do it for my day one Larry Bird build. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys want to see the face creation for this build, let me know in the comments down below. If we can get this bad boy to 25 likes, maybe I'll drop the Larry Bird face creation for you guys. Also, I'm going to leave a card here if you guys want to check out any of the other face creations, and eventually I have all the builds and everything that we're doing here in NBA 2K25 in that below. Again, appreciate you guys for sticking around. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you in the next one. I'm out. Peace.